So here we are in the police chief's office, Chief DeLessio, as I'm sure most of the community would recognize his face, even with a mask on. But I've only worked with Jeff for a little over a year, maybe a year and a quarter. I've grown to really have a great deal of respect for him. His calm demeanor at all times has been very comforting and very helpful with a variety of situations that have occurred in town. The town's in good hands with its public safety department with Jeff at the helm. For those of you who don't know, he will be leaving our service early in 2021. So it's bittersweet that we wish him well, but we certainly wish him well. And I want to thank him for all the good things he's done in the community and his dedication to duty and his attention and his ever-present willingness to cooperate and do what's best for the town of East Longmeadow. So Jeff, if you want to say a few words about your department, your staff, you can take it from here and say whatever you like.
Thanks, Mary, for those kind words. I appreciate it very much. As you know, as she said, I will be leaving in early next year. But until then, business as usual for the police department and the men up here. We have 26 officers. That includes some sergeants. And we continue to deal with issues in the town as it relates to COVID. As you can see, we're all wearing our masks today. But as the COVID continues to affect every community, we continue to make adjustments as necessary, and unfortunately, we're no different than any other community in regards to that. So with that said, I appreciate the town for all the support they gave me over the years in regards to my retirement, and we'll leave it at that. But I'd like to just show you a little bit more what goes on at the police department here as far as what you can expect since we did transition over to a regional dispatch. And it'll affect how you may have some lobby services for the most part. That's really the only thing that we're really concerned about, is making sure that we provide as much as possible the same service as you had before we made the change over to a regional dispatch center. For most of you, that will probably mean no change in services, except again, when you do come into the lobby. So one of the operations up here to the police department, it's not a uniform position, it's an administrative position. And my assistant that helped me very much in the day-to-day operations up here as far as administratively is Penny Tremblay. She's been here for quite a few years, almost what, 32 years, Penny? So she's been really one of the pillars up in this building, which a lot of people don't know about. But if you happen to have a question about administrative billing or the non-law enforcement side, basically, you probably would reach out to Penny here and make contact with her. So 32 years, which she's approaching a lot of time like me, and we appreciate her service throughout her entire career. But this is the operation administrative part of it anyways, for getting the paperwork, so to speak, done in the police department. Thank you, Penny.
The people like Penny are the unsung heroes, in a manner of speaking, because they provide service to all the other employees in the building. Absolutely. And they'd be lost without her. So
absolutely. Yep.
Thanks. My thanks to Penny as well.
Yeah, she's my go-to girl. Anything I need to know, she reminds me where I was. So this part of our building is our old dispatch area. We've moved part of our administrative personnel out here to handle some of the lobby traffic that we have now that we no longer dispatch and greet people at the same time in the police department. So this is another part of an administrative position here that we take care of walk-in business for the police department. This wall here is part of the memorabilia that's been collected over the years of how the town developed in the police department, different members of the department, different tools that we used back in the day for the trade. And it's just a wall that the guys put together to remember where we came from and not forget our past. Now we're in the lobby of the police department, where if you were to come in the door between 8 and 8, again on Monday through Friday, you would run into the lobby here. You would make your case known, so to speak, at the lobby. Someone would greet with you at this point in time and help you out further with any kind of issues you have. But the lobby is open only from those hours. Nothing's really changed since we moved our dispatch over to Westcom. It's still the same Same setup basically, so it's just the people behind the window are now different.
Chief was very instrumental in getting that transfer over to Westcom to happen with efficiency. He pointed out all of the operational issues that either were a problem or could potentially be a problem. And the executive director at Westcom has worked hard with her staff to ensure that the public safety response to complaints arising out of East Longmeadow is timely and expeditious. So that's part of Jeff's skill set that we will miss, but that he helped make the transition much smoother than it could have been. So again, praise to him for that.
So what we have here is our med box, drop box for medication, unwanted medication, no longer needed, etc. This is provided through the DA's office. It's a very useful tool, so to speak, for the residents. Again, you can access it during the lobby hours. There's some do's and don'ts, as they say, on the front there that we'd like you to adhere to. Very useful convenience tool for the residents of East Longmeadow. Should we be closed outside the hours that we've talked about already, you'll have this phone access to you to reach out to a dispatcher in Chicopee who will take your complaint immediately, address any of the concerns you have, and steer it towards the proper personnel if applicable. Some issues you might have may not be emergency in nature, may be addressed right away. They could be referred out down the road to business hours for the police department. But this phone is available 24/7 when you come into the lobby. Simple thing is either push the red button, it automatically connects you to the dispatch center for any kind of emergencies or complaints, or you pick up the handset. Either way. Again, we notify you that the hours are right here on the board, and if we are closed, the curtain will be down. So if you see the curtain down, that means the door is going to be locked. It's a feature that we offer 24/7 that we have to provide the service to the residents of town since we no longer do the dispatching behind these doors. There is a feasibility study underway right now with the department to see if there will be an expansion or renovations to the police department. We're a 24/7 operation, as you know, so the building gets used basically 24/7, 365. So it takes a lot more wear and tear than your average building. But this is a plaque that commemorated the original building and the architect and the people that were in town responsible for this building back in 1974.